Gatto Island, a protected fish and sea snake sanctuary, is a small island protrusion approximately 1 hour from Malapascua. Large caves tunnel through the middle of the island, creating an opportunity for those who enjoy the dark recesses. Inside the still waters of the tunnels, an array of tunicates, soft and hard corals house many different varieties of cowries, nudibranch and other crustaceans. White-tip sharks can often be seen hiding within the caves. The colourful soft corals surrounding Gatto create a unique habitat for many different species. Beautiful spotted eagle rays can be seen grazing along the sandy bottom. The relatively deep sea fans create a home for tiny pygmy seahorses. Part of the coral that the pygmy chooses to live on appears to live symbiotically within the skin and creates a warty-like growth around the head and the body, generating the perfect camouflage by matching colour and shape of its host exactly. Another master of disguise is the frogfish. They mimic the surrounding objects such as coral, sponges and rocks. Banded pipefish search for mates among the soft corals. Beautiful long-nosed butterfly fish graze peacefully along the reef. Spanish dancers live among the wealth of sponges, their natural food of choice. The name derives from the intoxicating way in which the snail swims, with graceful undulating movements of its mantle margins. A mating ground for the banded sea crate, it is common to witness a few of these striking crates during each dive. The island creates an ideal environment for sea crates. The protected steep walls above sea level are an ideal nesting ground. Host anemones thrive in the rich waters and create homes for many varieties of the overly protective damselfish. Coral-encrusted rock formations form crevices and overhangs which create ideal shelters for many species, including white-tip sharks. Taking advantage of the sheltered areas, large numbers of white-tip sharks can be seen piled on top of each other, sleeping peacefully during the daytime. Constantly opening and closing their mouths to be able to breathe, the sheer quantity of sharks can be awe-inspiring. The distinctive white markings at the ends of the dorsal and caudal fins give the shark their common name. An ideal location for any budding photographer, scorpionfish with their interesting camouflage pose dramatically for cameras. Smashing mantis shrimp live within the many cracks and crevices. Their bodies hidden, it is only the large eyes and colourful heads that can be seen. Flashing white antennas and bold red and white stripes indicate the presence of banded coral shrimp. A no fishing zone, many species of fish breed in the surrounding waters. Sweetlips, snappers and grunts of varying sizes and ages can be seen swimming amongst the coral gardens. Sensitive to motion, thorny oysters are fixed to the sheltered reef walls, the shells covered with sponge and soft coral growth. Pristine soft coral gardens of Gatto Island, the cave formations, overhangs and abundance of sea life create one of the best diving areas in the Philippines. As dusk falls, sex once again commences in the surrounding waters of Malapascua, this time in the form of the brightly coloured mandarin fish at Lighthouse Reef. During the full moon is the best time to witness this amazing display of erotic courtmanship and copulation, although it is also possible to see it at any other night of the year. The most colourful fish in the sea is part of the dragonet family and ranges in size from 3 to 7 centimetres, with the male being the bigger fish. Due to the increased demand for these beautiful fish within the aquarium trade, it is quite a rare sight for many divers. As the sun sets, the shallow waters of Lighthouse Reef come alive with mandarin fish, as they begin their nightly ritual of searching for food and a mate. The larger male spends time vying for the attention of the smaller females, chasing in a strange hopping-like motion, one female and then another, until finally one relents. Then the dance begins. The paired couple move to a secluded area and approach each other side to side. Rubbing gently against each other, they begin to ascend in a spiralling motion up and away from the reef. The spirals become tighter and tighter, and as the climax draws near, then suddenly, for a brief second, the motion stops. The female releases her eggs and the male his sperm, creating a cloud of dust in the water. The mating is completed. The fish return to the safety of the reef and resume feeding and searching for yet another mate. This amazing display only occurs for about 1 hour during dusk, but it is a most unforgettable experience. Many common seahorses can be seen clinging to the hard corals within the shallows of the reef. Of the seahorse family, it is the male seahorse that is pregnant and carries the young. House Reef is an environmental project created by Dick and Cora, the owners of Xotic Resort. Amongst the coral bommies, artificial structures create a safe haven for many varieties of fish. 2 sunken jeepneys in the deeper 12-metre area are encrusted with barnacles, sea squirts and corals and create a safe home for many different species. Large schools of striped eel catfish, one of the only 2 marine catfish species, find shelter within the jeepneys. The brightly coloured ringtail cardinal fish also gather in great quantities. The spectacular yet quite poisonous common lionfish are regular guests, with their spiny heads, distinctive striped markings and flamboyant displays of motion, a quite beautiful fish to watch. Amongst the tire structures, it is possible to see all stages of harlequin sweetlips, from the awkward orange and white spotted juveniles to the large and somewhat lazy black spotted adults. Large schools of batfish swarm the wooden structures. Sex arrives at House Reef during the months of February to April in the form of large numbers of mating pelagic squid. Only living for 1 year, the squid eagerly embrace their only chance of mating, for once successful, both the male and female will die. During mating, the squids entirely ignore their surroundings, creating an ideal situation for photographers and predators. Once paired up, the mating dance begins with an amazing display of colour and arm movements. The larger male sits atop of the female and, using a modified tentacle, inserts a sperm packet into the female's receptacle. With the male guarding her, the female extends a few tentacles and deposits her fertilised white egg sac into the cluster. The amazing skin is capable of changing colour rapidly. These changes are used for camouflage, mimicry, alarm displays, and different forms of communication. Full-length fins surrounding the tube-like body undulate in the water to aid propulsion. Through a quick escape, the squid expels water through the funnel situated below the 8 arms, creating a jet-like effect. Each egg sac contains approximately 200 eggs. The bright red eyes of the maturing embryos give off a red hue to the egg sac prior to hatching, which occurs in just 2 weeks. Normally witnessed only during night, these repeat visitors are an amazing sight. Family friends of the pelagic squids are also common on House Reef. The human-like eyes are possibly the most advanced within the invertebrate world. Cuttlefish usually swim with a fin that runs the full length of their body. However, similar to the pelagic squid, if a faster mode of propulsion is needed, they expel jets of water through a funnel situated under the head. A master of distraction, they can exhibit dramatic colour and shape changes. These abilities are most frequently used for camouflage amongst seaweed, seagrass, soft corals and sandy bottoms. Some can even create pulsing waves and raise their skin to create the illusion of weeds growing on their bodies. There are 8 arms and 2 feeding tentacles which form a ring around the mouth. The feeding tentacles are quite long and shoot out with amazing speed and accuracy to catch prey. The most spectacular colour changes occur when they are stalking prey, courting mates, or fighting rivals. A sometimes visitor is the flamboyant cuttlefish. This small yet beautiful creature holds the most dramatic display of colour changes. Often seen ambling along the sandy seafloor, if disturbed or attacked, a pulsating array of colours occurs, from brown to yellow and even red. A demon scorpion fish being blown along in the current, mimicking a piece of debris. These interesting and somewhat poisonous fish are common upon house reef. Normally burying themselves in the sandy bottom, they are not always easy to find. Using 2 pectoral fins, the scorpion fish prefer to walk the reef instead of swim. A common stonefish, another master of disguise. If you have a sharp eye, they are found either buried in the sand or camouflaged amongst the artificial objects. The protruding head of a black-finned snake eel can be seen being cleaned by a pair of cleaner shrimp. Banded sea crate are a common sighting at House Reef, known as a sea crate because it has to leave the water to lay eggs on land. The distinct black and white stripes covering the long body are a warning to potential predators. The distinct black and white stripes covering the long body are a warning to potential predators. Beautiful, yet quite poisonous, they make a captivating sight underwater. Occasionally, another sea snake will make an appearance. A turtle-head sea snake takes its time searching through the grass and sand. A true sea snake that spends its entire life in the ocean. It can be recognised by the golden and black bands covering the body and strange V-shaped tail. If you are lucky, you may even witness the elegant flying motion of a spotted eagle ray. Monad Shoal, a sunken island situated 30 minutes from Malapascua. This relatively deep dive site with its rich clear waters harbours an array of different sea life. Large octopus live in the many crevices atop of the shoal. Living most of their lives on the sea floor, these amazing predators can adapt to the surrounding scenery and disappear into the smallest crevice. In many of the crevices, smashing mantis shrimp can be seen, their unique red, blue and green coloration making an unmistakable sight. The large calcified claws are normally curled under and out of sight, yet when used they smash hard-shelled crustaceans and the occasional camera lens. Trumpet fish glide effortlessly over the soft coral gardens. Of the same family as seahorses, a pair of adult banded pipefish dance their way across the colourful reef. As with seahorses, it is the male of the species that carries the eggs. The distinct white eyes of the white-eyed moray eel that are often seen in pairs glare menacingly across the reef. Generally not aggressive, the snapping motion created from the powerful jaws is simply a way to breathe, filtering water through the gills. A common lionfish has journeyed to Monad to utilise the abundance of cleaner stations situated across the top of the reef. Large schools of the colourful cleaner wrasse are sporadically spaced throughout Monad Shoal. The bold blue, white and yellow markings act as a beacon to attract fish in need of cleaning. The colourful cleaner wrasse can be seen expertly removing any parasites, loose skin and tissues from the body and gills of the lionfish. Occasionally, cleaner wrasse can become a little overexcited and accidentally take a nibble from their customers. Once the wrasse has attracted a client, it immediately takes up station in readiness. An up-down dance occurs which appears to lull the client into the correct position for cleaning. Great barracudas arrive looking for a clean. The cleaner wrasse immediately begin their routine. The barracudas, as with all clients of the cleaner wrasse, remain very patient and still, as though in a trance, allowing the wrasse to clean in and around the gills, removing all those unwanted parasites. Many fish visit Monad Shoal to utilise the abundance of cleaner wrasse. Large pelagics can also be seen. Throughout the months of May to November, it is possible to see giant manta rays gliding gracefully over the reef. The fifth largest species in the sea, they can grow up to 7 meters and weigh 1,400 kilograms. Due to the large cephalic, horn-like lobes protruding from the head, manta rays are also referred to as devil rays, not to be mistaken with the smaller mobuli of the same name, whose cephalic lobes are much straighter and sharper. The lobes are used by the manta to aid in direction and position, similar to that of a rudder on a boat. The distinctive glowing white underside displays the large gill slits. This is a common view for many divers. Their large pectoral fins resemble wings of a bird and allow them to glide effortlessly across oceans using currents to guide them. These harmless giants of the ocean are very sensitive to changes in current and will quickly change direction if they detect divers up current from them. It is thought that manta rays enjoy human interaction and can often be seen playing in the bubbles created by divers, although it is not recommended to touch them. Many of the giant mantas that arrive at Monad are repeat visitors. Their distinctive black and white markings make them easy to identify from one another. Throughout the year, it is possible to see another rare pelagic, the thresher shark. A member of the mackerel shark family, the thresher is the second fastest shark in the water. These beautiful deep water sharks are attracted to the relative shallows of Monad Shoal by the abundance of cleaner stations, a unique phenomenon witnessed in only a few areas of the world. Whilst being cleaned, the thresher shark does not stop, yet it slows itself down by raising its head, dropping its long narrow pectoral fins and forming an S shape by twisting its large tail. The distinctive tail is approximately half the length of the shark. The large black eyes are set backward of the conical head. Unlike other sharks, they have no nictating membrane, no eyelid, making their eyes extremely sensitive to changes in light and movement. The beautiful, almost iridescent silver skin appears to glow and change colour with every movement. The powerful, elongated, scythe-like tail propels the shark through the water, while the large, narrow pectoral fins are used for direction and position. The name thresher originates from the manner in which they hunt their prey, repeatedly thrashing fish with their extremely long, whip-like tails. These beautiful sharks are a regular visitor to Monad Shoal, a sight that you will never forget. Boa's batfish have taken up permanent residence at Monad Shoal and also enjoy the services of the cleaner wrasse. clear blue waters of Monad Shoal hold a spectacular array of sea life, which offers a most enjoyable diving experience.